Good day, my name is Bluesuit and today I'll be going over my review of the story-driven World War II real-time tactics strategy stealth adventure game known as Partisans 1941. In Partisans 1941, you take on the role of Red Army Commander Alexei Zorin as he leads a group of Russian resistance fighters from behind enemy lines against the German invasion of Russia during World War II. In your nation's defense, you'll utilize guerrilla warfare to disrupt, hinder, and destroy the encroaching Nazi threat. The story is surprisingly well done. It definitely starts off slow, but is told with well voice-acted dialogue, and overall does a great job of telling an interesting perspective from the Eastern Front of the Third Reich's occupation. Much of the gameplay in Partisans 1941 is standard practice from the real-time tactics playbook. You start off with only a couple of characters, but you usually unlock a new one every other mission. Each character is unique in their own way, filling roles depending on your playstyle. What's great about Partisans 1941's characters is that, for one, there are actually quite a few once you get them unlocked, so there's a lot of flexibility when building a party. And secondly, every character has their own skill tree. These skill trees aren't particularly large or unique, but they end up being just diverse enough to make each character feel distinct. And I really like the leveling system here. No matter who does the killing, everyone on that mission will get experience, and there are usually a ton of extra enemies on the map rewarding you if you want to go hunt them all down. In combat, you're generally making your way through groups of enemies toward the mission objectives. You'll want to stealthily take down as many as you can, then have an old-fashioned shootout with the ones that you weren't able to subdue quietly. The problem with this style of gameplay is that the AI is incredibly dumb, and the levels aren't very cleverly designed, so you can usually take out an entire group or an entire level of enemies with stealth only, making your gunslingers effectively useless. One great thing, though, about these maps is that they are quite open, and they do often reward exploration. Some of the best weapons that I've found in the game were stashed in far-off corners of the map in little caches. Which leads me to loot. There are a fair number of weapons, explosives, traps, and distractions for you to find and utilize against the Nazis, but I think the best part of this system is the weapons workbench, where you can actually upgrade your items. Every weapon has different upgrades and you can only pick a couple, but once you have a fully upgraded weapon, it really feels like your characters become unique and they have a real attachment to their firearms. What really sets Partisans 1941 apart from other titles in the genre is your base camp. Nestled deep in the hidden woods, you and your allies slowly build up your resistance capabilities and sustain the resistance with good old resource management. It unfortunately starts becoming interesting very slowly. Any members not serving on an active mission can stay behind and construct buildings or gather food, heal, or all sorts of other operations to sustain themselves in their fight. The issue is that for the first several hours of the game, you really don't have enough people to do anything meaningful at camp. However, once you do start to get a decent-sized party, everyone is eating more and it becomes a lot more engaging to manage. What's even better is that your actions in camp, such as eating or raising morale, actually affect your combat capabilities on the mission, and likewise, gathering extra food and supplies while on a mission are able to be used back at camp. So it's really great to see that these aren't just two independent systems devoid of interaction like many other titles, but they're actually intertwined and codependent of one another. There are two big problems that really keep Partisans 1941 from feeling like a AAA game, and players should be aware of them before picking it up. The first of these is the very high level of jank that I experienced. The UI, for example, is still kind of a mess, and trying to see additional information or navigating menus can often be a chore. But also, the actual gameplay itself really isn't as tight as it should be. Partisans 1941 is definitely on the simpler end of the spectrum for the genre, but it still feels very inconsistent. I could perform the exact same maneuver 10 different times and probably get 10 different results. So if you send 3 party members in to stab 3 different enemies at the same time and they notice you, you can just reload and try the exact same thing again and it will probably work for you. The second major issue is that the load screens are way too long. In any real-time tactics game, you're going to be saving and loading a lot until you move on to the much harder difficulty. Saving doesn't take any time at all, but I feel like I spend more time in load screens than I do actually killing. And to top that off, I think there are only 2 different load screen artworks, which really just highlights the problem. you'll be able to pick up Partisans 1941 on October 14th, 2020 for $30. It is a very unique base building take on the RTT genre and an interesting Red Army perspective on World War II. However, it is a somewhat simpler game than its genre siblings and still has some kinks to work out, so I'm valuing Partisans 1941 right at $25. And I would recommend it to fans of real-time tactics games who are looking for another solid entry in the genre with some base building mechanics thrown in. I hope you enjoyed this review of Partisans 1941. Come see me on Twitch where you can watch our reviews in progress 5 nights a week. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Until next time, peace!